Hello and welcome to My Finance Teacher. Today is 18th of March 2018. I hope everybody's having a nice day, a nice weekend, and we are looking at crude oil. Last time we looked at it was quite a while ago in December last year, and what I mentioned all the way back in December on the chart, it would be somewhere around here, is that we were approaching this resistance zone right around where the price is at the moment, just above $60, around $62, formed by this high, and that we might bounce down from that resistance zone of $62 down to a support level of high 50s or so. Well, what transpired over these several weeks is that crude oil broke through the resistance. It overshot through the resistance, however, not that much higher. The high was around $66 or so, and we are now below that resistance zone, or actually just at the resistance zone, and I think we are going to see a decline in crude oil price over the next few weeks. What are the reasons for that? Well, first of all, I think we are in the declining phase of this cycle. Generally, crude oil cycles last for about half a year or so. There's sort of a short-term cycle here from, say, July 2016 to November 2016, or are we going to count it as part of a larger cycle here? It doesn't really matter that much. Generally, cycles last for about half a year or so in crude oil, and we are in the time band for the current cycle to go down, plus it has met resistance just above $60, and it's in the declining phase. Things that indicate that the cycle is in its declining phase is this sharp decline in RSI. However, we are going to continue going down because we are not even at neutral levels yet. We are at 57. Once the cycle has finished, probably somewhere at high 50s or so, this level is going to be a support zone. Once the cycle has finished, RSI should inch closer to the oversold levels. And of course, we've seen a week where crude oil lost quite a lot, although we've regained much of those losses. Another indication is that the price is currently under the 10-week moving average. Basically, if you look at some sort of relatively short moving average, once the price dips below that, it is a good indication, such as here, 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 and here. It is a good indication that the asset, in this case crude oil, is in the declining phase. Another indication for an upcoming decline in crude oil is, I think, in XLE, ETF of the energy sector part of the SPDR. Relatively recently, just over a couple of weeks, XLE lost around 13% or so. It dropped from around 77 to all the way down to 65. Something similar happened in crude oil, although not to that extent. Plus, as we mentioned, crude oil has already regained nearly half of that loss, which didn't happen in XLE, which means that the market also expects a decline in the crude oil price. And lastly, one other indicator that forecasts a decline in crude oil is the US dollar. Basically, the US dollar since sort of second half of October has been going down, and that helped crude oil. Second half of October is somewhere here. That helped crude oil to push past that resistance zone. Cycles in US dollar generally last for half a year as well, although there are some exceptions, like here this cycle lasted for 1 year, all during 2017. But it seems that we're entering a new cycle in the US dollar, which means it might move up for another several weeks, putting pressure gold and possibly crude oil. So for those reasons, I expect lower crude prices over the next several weeks, going down to a support zone low 50s or so would be the support zone. Looking at a bigger picture, if I zoom out a little, there is this trend line that is going to act as resistance over the coming couple of years, several months. And what's going to happen to crude oil with that in mind is as follows. There is a resistance zone somewhere around here. Crude oil is probably going to go below the resistance zone, reach the support zone at low 50s, and in its new intermediate cycle, it's going to break through the resistance zone, possibly come close to this long-term trend line, and form some sort of a consolidation triangle. Something similar to what we saw in gold since around second half of 2016. After a nice run-up in sort of mid-2016, gold has been consolidating for quite a while. Something similar is going to happen with crude oil. And after a while of consolidation, I expect a breakout to the upside. That is my forecast. And if you are interested in the energy sector, I'd wait and see over the next several weeks how crude oil and the energy sector behave. Thanks a lot for your attention. I'd appreciate your comments, likes, maybe dislikes, and I welcome you to follow me on Steemit, where I post a little more regularly than on YouTube. Thanks and bye-bye.